Okay. Ro, did I ask you? So I want the answer to this question. I feel like it's valuable. To with the $2 super chat. Submissive women are men's greatest asset. Okay. Alex, did you answer?
Yeah.
What did you say? Aside from arguing with Gunny.
Um, I agreed. I said, as a man's woman is. Now you don't make me forget what the question was. Hold on. I said it earlier, and that's how we sparked the conversation. Don't do that. Um,
Fuck.
what? Go back to me. I just drew a blank. I answered you earlier. I was the first one.
And
Man, I thought she froze.
the hell with them HBCUs, man. Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Okay.
Yeah, I like to just add a little bit of flavor before
Go ahead.
you move to the next, because I got Google too, right? And I think that the question may be a little bit flawed, and when you're relating a woman to being an asset, because people can't be considered assets, such as tangible fixed assets, as in property or equipment, right? And they don't depreciate. So I just wanted to be clear that, that definition in the question is a little bit flawed, and I'm still standing 10 toes down in my answer, but I just think that the question is a little bit flawed, as in
people don't depreciate, you said?
Well, it's more like equipment does. Or,
people depreciate,
or
though,
like
for sure.
People can't be owned. Well, they shouldn't be owned, put it that way. In the definition that's provided, people cannot be owned like chattel.
I'm gonna own my husband. He's gonna be mine.
Yeah, you own your.
In my perspective, you can't own somebody because you can't tell anybody what to do, right? You cannot tell someone what to do.
You own your spouse, and also people depreciate.
But you can't dictate their movements. You can't thank you for the federal government, right, Alex? For the federal government, you can't own people, okay? And
wait, what do you mean? You can't own people?
Ownership is
you can't own people for the law.
13th Amendment. 13th Amendment. Slavery is still real. If you're a ward of a state, they own you. You could do what you want. Come on.
Your wife is not a ward of the state.
Hold on. I'm just saying. Wait, I'm just saying because y'all want to be too smart for your own good and brought up the federal government. So I just want to say, hold it.
Put him in the fucking bed. Get him out of here. Come on.
Definitely own people.
Yeah, hell yeah. Now
he is my husband.
What is Alex saying?
And I want him to own me too. I want to be a dependent. Own me.
I don't want to be dictated. Yeah, I don't want to be owned like chattel. But I get what you're saying. Y'all want to be taken.
Technically, your husband own you. I keep telling y'all that.
Hell yeah. He own your ass.
So you own him.
You have to sign those divorce papers. Look at your driver's license when you get married. It changes until he signed them divorce papers and you file.
Yeah, he own you though.
Yeah, you can't own another human.
You can walk out the door and have them divorce papers drawn up.
Again, in the true concept of ownership, you can't own another human being. Is what I'm saying.
Yes, you can contractually.
Yes,
you can.
If your wife, you sat there and said, "Wife, don't go outside this door," she can still go out the door.
Contractually, yes, you can own somebody.
But we had this conversation before, but like I own my son. That's mine. Anything I put mine in front of belongs to me. I own it.
But they have their own free will. But
we all own each other.
Hold on. Too many at a time. Yes, people can go out. People can go rogue. Doesn't mean that you don't have ownership over them, right? So that's not mutually exclusive because people don't fucking listen. You still own them. Now, in terms of depreciation, people definitely depreciate
every day.
Well, yeah, without question. I mean, that's regular. You don't think people depreciate?
Do people age? Yes. But depreciate as in you can sit there and say per year they depreciate by $5 per year. Like that's how you depreciate an asset. So no, not in the true concept of tangible asset.
Your body depreciates. So love.
Hold on, Hank. Let me chop this up real quick. Okay. All right, so depreciation also comes with wear and tear, right? So, for instance, you take Chief and I Bub, we've been playing football for so long. Our toes is like this. Like our shit is all. It's just different. So we have devalued ourselves in some way. I'm not that self conscious, but when I go to the beach, I be digging my shit down a little bit. You feel me? You know what I mean? It's like it happens. Women, when you have kids tear y'all asses up, right? The kid is I don't know. There's not that much return on investment with kids, but you guys produce the kids, so we appreciate it. But yeah, kids tear you up. They depreciate you. Yes, people can depreciate aside from age. You can age yourself. There was this one rapper in Chicago who died from liver kidney failure. I think his name like Duck or something. He killed himself because he was drinking and doing Molly. Like his whole body was done. He depreciated 100%. Hell yeah, you can depreciate.
I was being respectful. So what I'm talking about in the realm of tangible assets, right? Because that whole, like I said, the question itself is flawed. Because you were saying Gunny's definition and then everything he just read. And I'm relating it back to that because that was more sort of the tangible about getting out of debt and all that. That was related to tangible assets. And I'm just bringing it back around and saying people are intangible assets. So it really can't be juxtaposed in that manner was all I was saying.
Well, how are people intangible? Yeah, how are people intangible?
Hey, let me hit her with something real quick here.
Go ahead. Let me get these 2 super chats and you can jump. John the Baptist with a $5 super chat. And the Lord God said, "It is not good that man shall be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him." Genesis 2:18 KJV. Her purpose is for him. T.O. with the $2 super chat. Love is definitely a liability. Go ahead, Bob.
All right. And this was the same lane I was going to go to because Hant brought up sports. I don't know if you know sports, Love, but have you not been watching what Ja Morant is going through? He's definitely an asset to the NBA. They set his ass down. All right. So when you say humans can't be, you can't own somebody, yes, the hell you can. All right. The NBA owns Ja Morant. That's exactly why they sat his ass down. They created a contract for him. They paying this man every week. If they tell him not to say something, he can't say it. If they tell him he can't go nowhere, he can't go. If they tell his ass what time to go to bed because he got practice in the morning, his ass better be in that bed at that time. Or there's consequences to these situations.
Of course there's consequences, but again, he's not owned. He's hired.
Yes, he is owned.
He's hired.
Contractually, he's owned.
He's hired. Well, that just means then your job owns you then, bub, if you're gonna look at it that way.
You know what they do? You know why? Because I gotta be there at fucking 7:00 in the morning.
Right. And
if I'm not there, if I'm not, there's consequences to that.
And if you choose not to be there, then you can suffer the consequences, fine. But it's not a loss of life. That's ownership. Like they owning something, and it is literally yours. You can tell it what to do. They can tell you what to do, but you don't have to actually do it. They can't dictate. Yes, there are consequences.
I'm an asset to them. I'm an asset to them. If I don't update my qualifications yearly, I'm up out of there because I'm an asset to them.
Question: Were the slaves owned? Did they disobey?
For the most part, no.
But did they disobey like Nat Turner?
Of course, some of them. Of course, some of them.
And Mark VC, Gabriel Prosser.
Yes, I said yes.
Right. They still disobeyed, right? And they still had the ability to choose somewhat, right? And they suffer consequences, just like your wife, just like your husband, just like your children. They disobey. They try to do what they want, and they suffer a consequence. It don't always have to be death, but because they own those slaves, they can give them consequences. You have ownership over your wife, husband, and your children, and therefore you give them consequences. It don't have to be death.
But the slaves, since you brought them up, a lot of them did suffer death as a consequence, right? And they weren't allowed to leave. Like they literally weren't allowed to leave the plantation. And
but you see how, love, you see how you this what you're doing though, because you're saying like they disobeying and all that shit. You mentioned that stuff about things that you own wouldn't disobey in theory, but the slaves still disobeyed and tried to do what they wanted to do, and they suffered consequences, whatever the consequences were.
Okay. So what I just said is they couldn't willingly leave. They could not leave the plantation. You know they couldn't. They literally were owned. They were owned. They were considered true owned beings because if they left, then they couldn't even own. They didn't even own their kids. Their kids could be sold off. Their
Do you
kids
own your dog?
them.
Do you own your dog?
Yes.
I mean, it's such a superficial understanding, but it's such a superficial. I'm saying it's not that deep. The concept. That's what I'm saying is superficial. It's not that deep. Dogs get disciplined because they don't listen all the time.
But they're an animal. Your wife is not an animal.
But you can own something.
Depends on who you ask. Some people consider us animals. We're just.
You can own something and it's going to do what it wants. Your kid, you own your kids. If your
that's all. That's the only difference.
If your kids do something that's fucked up, who get the blame? You, right? Because you own them kids, right? Because you own them. They do fucked up shit because they still make their own choices, but you get blamed. If you're a husband and your wife is out there being a hoe, they're gonna look at your husband like he's crazy for letting that shit happen because he owns you, right? Her run wild when you own her. Like, what you doing wrong? You get what I'm saying? That's how the aspect of ownership comes into it. Because
I think it's just the word is probably hurting her that she just can't get with.
I'm not hurt. I'm not hurt.
I don't like that word.
So it's not hurt. It's not hurt. It's called exploring, expounding upon the conversation. It's not hurt. It's not offense. It is having a conversation.
You can own anything and anybody and it still do what it wants.
Yeah. Will with the $5 stupid. Oh, my bad, Mary. I thought you paused.
Yeah, go ahead.
Will with the $5 super chat. Gunny actually excluded a portion of the definition: a useful or valuable thing, person, or quality. Okay. Yeah. One more here. T.O. with the $5 super chat. Damn, my shit's slow. Y'all know she be laying in bed with her dude arguing about air and shit. What does that mean? Like the AC?
No, he basically saying she be arguing about nothing.
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's right. I don't know. Like you. So, all right. So, Chief, let me ask you a question.
Sir, yes, sir.
Chief been working out too. Okay, Chief. See you. So when you get married,
sir, yes, sir.
Does your wife own you?
Yeah, it's part of the agreement, ain't it?
Yeah,
that's what the paper gonna say.
Yeah. Are you hyphenating your name or some shit like that?
Who? Bugging the fuck out. Nah, that ain't not for me.
Okay.
Not for me.
All right. Yeah, I mean, does anybody else feel like you don't own your spouse?
Hey, look, once I bless a woman with my last name, man, yeah, she belongs to me. She's mine.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I don't think it doesn't feel bad to me if I say it out loud. You know?
Listen, that's so let's be very clear. Having a difference of opinion is not wrong, right? That's the whole entire point of having dialogue. And so, that's fine with the insults to who I'm arguing with, and I'm arguing with air. Whatever. Who cares? You don't even know me. But it's a podcast, and it is to have dialogue and to have difference of opinions and different viewpoints.
Who are you talking to?
I'm just talking. Period. I'm just talking because.
Fuck them niggas in the comments, man.
No. I'm just saying, like, it's fine. I'm not offended because no one agrees. No one has to agree. I get it's an opinion. That's all I'm saying. Like, okay, it is an opinion that I have, but I wanted to address the fact that I'm not hurt. The word ownership does not hurt me. Just my opinion of being owned. I just think of it. You can't be owned by another person, and I explain why I felt that. That's all.
Well, it just doesn't sit well with you.
Mm-mm. That's what he meant.
I don't think the issue is difference in opinion; it's the difference in facts. Because technically, yeah, if you're married, the other person does own you. You can own your kids. Like you can own other people. And I believe that's a fact.
I mean, when you own something, when you own a car, you own a home, you own anything, you take pride in the fact that you own it. You worked hard to own that particular thing, and you're going to take care of it. You're going to treat it right, because in order to own something, you have to work hard towards it. So it's just all based on how you look at it. You're not going to misuse and dog out that thing that you worked hard to own. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, but it's just like when you buy a car or you buy a house, like you're signing a title with your name on it because you own it. You sign your kid's birth certificate because that is your child, you own it. You sign a marriage certificate because that is yours, you own it.
Right.
Yeah.
All those things you put in work for.
Yeah.
And you're going to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
You literally sign yourself to it, meaning you're responsible for it.
Yeah. I like Mary.
You Mary.
Wow. Mary. I like Mary.
She's decent. Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. So we got